What Haiyore Nyaruko-san didn't tell you, by me. Before you inevitably ask, this did really happen to me. As will be explained later, many fictional characters are real people who have had stories written about them. I worship and serve Arceus. Yes, that one. Supreme God of Pokemon is training me, talk about reversal of expectations, to lead the multiverse in a new resurgence of worship for him. But more on that later. Arceus tasked me before my great adventure to complete a challenge, to help the most unfortunate life form in existence. And he told me I already knew who that was, and he was right. Mr. Unlucky's name is Mahiro Yasaka. If you have no life and or have spent time watching strange, brain-numbing Japanese cartoons, that name may sound familiar. He is the protagonist of a series of strange comic books and strange anime called Nyaruko Crawling with Love. You may be saying that Mahiro is very fortunate indeed, if a bit stupid. And I say no, but I won't insult the show anymore, as I want people who have watched the show to hear the truth. Also, Mahiro Yasaka is extremely unlucky to the point of making most tragic heroes, such as Batman, look like utter whiny pansies, as you will find out if you fully read or listen to my account. I had discovered his existence a few months prior. I was watching a video about Nyarlathotep when the narrator said, even going so far as to turn him into an animated teenage girl in a series of manga and anime, whilst showing a picture of Nyaruko on the screen. I thought, huh? Well, not as bad as Demon Bane before he went back to talking about the Lovecraft character. Looked on Google Images for stuff about the Lovecraft character. But that was only about half the images. About 1/3 was this Nyaruko bovine manure again. 5% was from Demon Bane, while the rest had nothing to do with Nyarlathotep at all. I looked on Wikipedia for information on the Lovecraft character and got some great stuff. However, in the popular culture section, it mentioned the lurking annoyance itself. It kept popping up when I tried to learn about the Lovecraft monstrosity. Through information I gleaned, I learned that Nyarlathotep had come to Earth and assumed a human form. Why the heck that one was my first rational thought. Well, no one would watch it anyway, I reasoned. Later, I accidentally found information on the premise. It talked about how the crawling chaos had fallen in love with the human, but because the human had heard of her, he was always somewhat afraid, especially of her 999 other forms, which could make him lose his mind. Quick correction. Nyarlathotep has infinite forms. God of 1,000 forms is just the title. Seeing this premise, I put 2 and 2 together in my head. Nyarlathotep often has the disguise of a human. He is the father of 1 million beings called the favored ones, who probably serve him. He can drive people insane with one thought. He has a hair-trigger temper to rival Zeus. He is the only Lovecraft monster who is actually evil. It all popped into place in my head. Has it clicked in yours? I knew I had to do something about it. I first talked to Dr. Strange, whose first reaction was of disbelief. He didn't actually think it was Nyarlathotep under all that makeup, so he paid the price. I hope he is in peaceful oblivion, waiting patiently until he comes back to life like the other Marvel characters. On February 2nd, 2017, I was caught in a time loop of the same day for 40 years. It was annoying, especially considering it was a Thursday and that meant I had swim practice. The thought of time made me realize who should help me. I found the doctor. Yes, that one. He broke me out of the time loop. I told him about Mahiro Yasaka. We went to the city where he lived and snuck into his house. Situation became dire. I remembered what the premise had also said. Mahiro was beginning to fall in love with her. Subtle mind control, no doubt, but his fear kept them from being together. I had guessed their love would end up being anglerfish-esque. Look that up if you don't know. They were in the same room together, sitting right next to each other. Mihiro had a look on his face, reminiscent of a stupid dog with a chew toy. Suddenly, Nyarlathotep started to glow, and Mihiro let out an exclamation in Japanese, which the doctor later translated as, "Oh God, I can see forever!" and fell to the floor in convulsions. The doctor, not knowing what to do, stepped into the room and said, hi. Nyarlathotep quickly mentally scanned the doctor. All three of us, Mihiro was still thrashing on the floor, quickly realized my mistake. The doctor is a man, he's actually an alien, who is believed to be attracted by a large amount of female humans on the internet, has messy hair, wears formal clothes in informal situations, and is relentlessly pursued by aliens. Nyarlathotep blushed so hard that all that blood being diverted to one's face would have killed a normal person. Nyarlathotep shoved Mihiro violently to the side and started running towards the doctor. "Oh, fiddlesticks," he said, and ran out, Nyaruko close behind. I, if you want to use that word, kidnapped Mihiro and put him on the TARDIS. The weapon that the doctor had built in one day transported Nyarlathotep to a parallel universe. And sealed in there, the monster, not the self-proclaimed physician. He then took me home and I took a shower. This was only the beginning. 10 days later, Nyaruko escaped from his prison in another reality. Hey, did you just assume Nyarlathotep's gender? He went back to his house to that house in Japan, rather angry, only to find out Mihiro wasn't there. 30 people died in a freak accident. Later, over the next month, the doctor acted as Mihiro's psychiatrist. That opened a well of obvious doctor puns. You don't have to try hard to imagine poor Mihiro's reaction when he found out the doctor was an alien who looked like a human. We learned from him that life with Hastur, Nyarlathotep, and Cthulhu had been far from as rosy as depicted in that dumb show about him. He said he could picture exactly what a restraining order in his prefecture looks like. He also said he had large blanks in his memory and was diagnosed with 17 different phobias. 1 week in, however, he started acting more sane, started eating regularly, and asking the doctor about the different machines in his APBOD. Awesome phone booth of doom. More strangely, however, he forgot what happened before he passed out. Then he started saying things like, "Nyaruko can't be all that bad, right?" To which we told him, yes, he can. "You mean she, etc." His phobias still remained. He would literally jump at shadows and tried to hide himself from everything that moved. My visits became less and less frequent, and as he went more sane and his night terrors became less frequent. However, he still seemed to believe whatever wasn't dangerous. But then, Arceus started showing me visions of the future. Nyarlathotep would find the place we were hiding at 3 days into my spring break. 2 days into spring break, we decided to go a year in the future so we would miss each other in time. We arrived at our destination in the future, and heard a loud crash on the door when we stopped. The crawling chaos walked in through the door, while the TARDIS, which is sentient, tried to expel its stowaway in a manner similar to vomiting until the doctor told it to stop. "Well, I've waited 364 days, said Nyarlathotep. Then, upon seeing the doctor, added, "Oh, Doctor-senpai!" Whatever flippin' pronoun you use, again blushed so hard that her blood vessels must have been fire hoses, and started trying to hug the doctor while he yelled, "Stop that! Ah! Stop it! Help! Help!" I tried to run over, but my legs couldn't move. A giggly girlish voice inside my head said, "You can't get away from me." While a voice that sounded as if it had been stolen straight from hell said, "Hey, doctor, how about we?" Then a third voice said, "Whoops, need to switch him." The voice that had spoken to the doctor for a couple of seconds rang through my head instead. "You stole something of mine.
I want it back now. Give it to me.
But I just gave you 350 yesterday, I said. You did? Of course I didn't.
Well, you better give my fertilizer back to me.
Fertilizer? You can buy that at the gardening supply store.
Stop playing dumb. You know what I mean. Anyway, now I have 2 of them. Double the fun.
Even the Satan voice was giggling now. It was scary.
Nyaruko-san had leaned so heavily onto the doctor they had both fallen to the floor.
I know who you really are, said the doctor. Really? Then I won't even have to introduce myself. Now show me to the nearest. I don't know if this will end up being better or worse than the time I was locked in a room with a wall made of diamond and I had to break it, but if I couldn't after 3 weeks, a crazy alien would kill me, rebuild the wall, and bring me back to life and make me start over again for 4.5 billion years until I was rescued. Note, that actually happened. How did you know doing that to people was my fetish? Help! Nyaruko pulled the doctor to his feet. The doctor tried to escape, but his legs wouldn't move. Nyaruko snapped its fingers, and I kid you not, a giant YouTube video started floating in midair. I knew I had found the right breeding stock when I found this video. It snapped its fingers, and the video played. It was a compendium of deaths and explosions in 2 series of Doctor Who. I hope some of our babies have your regeneration gene, said Nyaruko between giggles. I know you look different since then, but I mean, just look at me. Just then, the 28th worst thing possible happened. Mihiro came down the hall into the room. Nyaruko looked as happy as the spawn of the devil on anti-Christmas morning. Hey, Nyaruko, what are you doing here? I've waited 364 days. I've waited 364 days straight. Now that What's wrong with your voice? Do you have a cold or something? Nyaruko realized that he had put on a voice which sounded like that of Christopher Lee. Well, now that you seem to have moved on to someone else, I think I'll go and move on with my pathetic life. Nyaruko laughed, and Mihiro zoomed toward it like a boomerang. Nyaruko giggled once more. You're crushing my lungs, said the doctor. I know, and your windpipe, said Nyaruko. Hey, said the doctor, if Haster ever gets sick, send him to me. Why? You owe me 6 squid! The 4 of us all shared a laugh. Later, Nyaruko, you do know I didn't cause most of those deaths, said the doctor. I just killed aliens who were going to kill a whole lot more. So I saved lives. Nyaruko looked like a kid who had just been told there was no Santa. Please don't say that. And when I destroyed the universe, I also reset time so it would begin again and fast forward to the present and where we exist again. So in a way, I killed everyone, but also brought everyone back. Note, that actually happened. You destroyed the universe, and you cleaned it up so we could do it again together? Oh, Daddy Senpai! Oh! This is like a cross between Twilight and the Twilight Zone, I thought. Not so quick, Mihiro. Mihiro had tried to make his escape, but Nyaruko had noticed. It telekinetically forced Mihiro to poke himself in the eye over and over again. Mihiro tried to say something, but it came out as ow, ow, ow. Be thankful it's not a katana, said Nyaruko. So, Doctor, should I create young with you 500,000 times for 1 million total, including my young with eye poke boy over there, or 1 million each? How about none? Said both together. He suddenly realized Mihiro hadn't clipped his fingernails since he got here. Nyaruko waved his hand, and Mihiro was able to take his finger away from his now bloodshot eye. What's gotten into you, Nyaruko? Why you do this? Why you do this? Asked Mihiro. Nyaruko snapped whatever that pronoun is, his fingers, and Mihiro's face went blank. Hey, why does my eye hurt? I realized that she had erased his memory of the event. And so the hunter in the dark said, I've waited almost a year for this, so I'm not going to waste it. I'll just travel back in time after this. Yes, Mahiro, I can do that. I've always been able to. Now, let's just put on some music that fits the mood. What was that song someone made about me? Nyaruko sang some awesome-sounding metal lyrics that were in ancient Egyptian. I don't think he got them right. You said my hovercraft is full of eels, said the doctor. They had a word for hovercraft? Well, they did after I was there. Oh, okay. So I got great advice from this romance story by a guy named Harlan Ellison. Let's reenact the book. The doctor freaked out and told the TARDIS to eject no matter what. The four of us were removed from the floor and Nyarlathotep was chucked out. We gotta get out of here, said the doctor. To know what they're talking about, Google I have no mouth and I must scream. What's going on? Mahiro shouted. We heard an inhuman scream of anger coming from outside. No! Screamed Nyarlathotep while we disappeared. We went billions of years into the past and to the other side of the universe. Wow, good thing I researched horror sci-fi while I was getting ready. What was that? Who's Harlan Ellison? And we're at 6 billion BC, I said. You mean who will be Harlan Ellison? Shut up, said the doctor. He then gave Mahiro a quick summary of the start of the book. Sounds like Thursday to me. Then Nyaruko saves the day, and I wonder if it would be better if I was left there, said Mahiro. The doctor then told him how it ends. Oh, maybe she got the wrong name. Maybe it was somebody else. You mean it will have been somebody else? As I interjected, shut up. I'm pretty sure it's not. You mean it will be not, I said. Shut up. Nyarlathotep has taken many forms at once at various points in the past, present, future, and future, future. Huh? You're doing it now, I said. Shut up. In fact, I did a calculation about how many people died because of you. You mean you will did a calculation? Shut up! But no one's died because of me. You've been 16 for the past 8 years. I stopped questioning this stuff a long time ago from now. Oh, time loop. It was 2017 when we left. All the disasters since 2009 have happened, many caused by your friend. How many more? Just think, how many have died in your name? How many? 5 million, because you brought Nyarlathotep to Earth. Soon I'll be rivaling Jesus, Mahiro said before fainting. Later on, Mahiro got up. The doctor said they wanted to change into someone else. He wanted to go to regeneration. That way he would have a different face and Nyarlathotep wouldn't know it was him. Hey, before you do that, Mahiro said, would you mind explaining to me exactly how you found out about me? Mahiro, I learned it from him, said the doctor, pointing at me. How do you know about me? Well, I said, you've been caught in a partial time loop since 2009. You should be in your 20s by now. During this time, you have had many horrifying brushes with fates worse than death. Some jerk-faced pig licker made a whole bunch of video games about you, disguising them as light-hearted adventures. Note, I was wrong. They're not actually video games, but really long comics that they call light novels because they're pretentious. Then they made a cartoon about it. I accidentally found out about this while researching the H.P. Lovecraft stories. I was the only one smart enough to figure out that having a horrible monster constantly trying to mate with you was bad, so I decided to save you. So, this guy knew about my problem, but instead of helping me, he made video games about me? What a Japanese expletive I can't remember. Ha, look at me, said the doctor. Everyone I'm friends with dies, monsters try to kill me, civilizations are exterminated, all the while millions just watch me on TV. He then continued his plans for regeneration. Later he went somewhere else and did it. He was saying he wished he would... He said he wished he would come back differently than he had before. Complete success, he said, coming back. He was obese, wore a coat 2 sizes too small, smelled like fish, and spoke in a southern U.S. accent. It'll never suspect him now. We went on going through different spots in time and space. We were at the galaxy known as M87 in the year 3,006 AD. The doctor said we needed to make a stop. We had ran through the last of the food we packed. By ran through, I mean ate, not crashed into while running. The doctor said that we needed to buy more food supplies and that he knew just the place to go. Mahiro had eaten only the jelly sandwiches that had been packed, and I had eaten only bananas. You better get something good, I said. Mahiro said something about being sick of jelly sandwiches. Him and the doctor started arguing in Japanese. Later I asked one of them to translate the argument. The doctor, just for that comment, wanted Mahiro to go shopping with him. Mahiro didn't want to show his face on an alien planet for obvious reasons. He then complained about how he didn't like being on the TARDIS. The doctor then got into a rant about where Mahiro would be if it weren't for us. I have to say, I have never heard the term cosmic vibrator before, nor am I likely to hear it again. Eventually, Mahiro agreed to go with a bag over his head. Later, me and Mahiro were talking to each other while the doctor did something. We talked about things such as Chinese bootleg merchandise, hot dogs, washing machines, and bipolar disorder. The adolescent had purposefully given it to him as a present so that he would be more indecisive. That's why he had been changing his mind so much about his situation. He also told me he had had a Nintendo DS in his pocket on the day we found him, with a copy of Pokemon Soul Silver on it. We're at 450 million BC. You will had a DS in your pocket on the day we will saved you. I am tired of your tenses. My first language is Japanese, and I know that's wrong. How did you will learn English anyway? Nyaruko-san, programmed it into my head because he liked it better than Japanese. He will liked it better than Japanese. There's no life on the land yet. No one speaks any language.
Stop the crap. Okay.
I've gotten into Pokemon because I like the feeling of them controlling monsters rather than them controlling me. Random slip into Japanese. Sometimes, however, it forcibly reminds me. He then accidentally interacted with his walking Pokemon. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, your leading Pokemon walks behind you. His was Tentacruel.
A jellyfish thing.
Mahiro let out a frightened shriek. Sorry, you couldn't read that, but it said, "Whoa, Tentacruel suddenly hugs you." Shouldn't have yelled, but it makes me think. He shuddered. Just then, the doctor came back. Hi, I overheard some of your conversation. So you like role-playing games, huh? I've got 2, but they're not video games. I got Masks of Nyaruko. Oh, sorry, we probably shouldn't play that one. I've also got Warhammer 40,000. I can make you a character. Of course, a character that new would probably die quickly. I'm going on a campaign against the worshippers of the cosmic monster called She Who Thirsts. Mahiro passed out on the floor again, and I said to the doctor, "It's times like this I can tell you're not actually a human."